If the Earth is flat, there'd be evidence to back up the claim. Yet, not one flat earther has ever produced any. So the problem here is not lack of evidence. The problem here is people do not want to admit that they're being fooled. That why would they lie to us? What reason would they lie to us? But that's for a whole other video. Here's your evidence. So go look up this video, Sunset Behind Mount Canigou. This is from a non-flat earther, just from a random French guy. Which anybody could go personally see this. Over the Mediterranean Sea, you're gonna see mountains in the atmosphere. Mount Canigou to be exact. So we'll go over the numbers right now. So let's get the details. That's the video. Translate that into English. The Canigou from Marseille. Assuming that Google Earth has the right distances from Marseille, France to Mount Canigou, 253 miles. So we'll just assume that this person recorded this from the tallest hill in Marseille, France, which is 509 feet. And Mount Canigou has an elevation of 9,136 feet. So here's observer height at 515 feet. The hill was 509 plus a 6-foot man, 515, okay. 253 miles away, and Mount Canigou. And of course, we're gonna include our standard refraction because refraction is a thing. Now, what does that say? Hidden by 27,480 feet. The drop of 35,480 feet. That can't be right. But you know what? I really don't want it to be flat. So we're gonna put the observer height at 1,000, 253 miles, and we're gonna double the mountain size at 20,000 feet. Still shouldn't be visible, huh? Still using standard refraction. Probably just not enough refraction. Just, what other excuse is there? There were clouds. And this is all coming from a flat earther that loved watching Dragon Ball Z. Do you know the indoctrination, the amounts of indoctrination about space travel, going to different planets, different aliens, different forms of beings? It's like outer space was... I was fascinated by it. Goku, you know? I don't know if you could understand me. And then I got Star Wars. We got Star Wars. I loved Star Wars. You can't imagine how much I dreamed as a child getting on a spaceship and going light speed. It's like if you knew where I'd come from. And then I started asking questions. I saw a documentary of landfills. It's like we're burying garbage on our beautiful Earth. It's like it was so frustrating for me to understand this. Like, why are we doing this? Like, don't we have rockets where we could send this garbage out into outer space? It's like, where are we gonna send it? I mean, the sun would be cool because as it gets there, it should disintegrate, right? It's super hot sun. It's like, it's not gonna affect the sun, would it? It's like, should it? It's like all that heat radiating onto Earth. It's like, why don't we just send it to the sun? And then I started asking questions. And then I figured out, oh, it's expensive. I see. So we're gonna be cheap, destroy our Earth.
People
Makes
freak
sense.
out because the rockets sometimes blow up. Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go. There's no place to throw your trash.
Did you know that the state of Kansas is actually flatter than a pancake? That's right. A scientist studied this. So Kansas is around 82,000 square miles. And a pancake that would be 82,000 square miles would actually be a little bit less flat than the state of Kansas itself, by about 0.04. But that's really weird, isn't it? Because it's an entire state, and it should be going over some bit of curvature to account for the exponentially curving horizon of our globe. But the craziest part is, it's not even the flattest state in the country. The flattest state in the country is Florida. So, how is this possible? Because Florida is a massive state. It would have to be going over some curvature of our globe, but we can't detect any because it's flatter than a pancake. In fact, there are 7 states flatter than a pancake. So can someone please tell me how this is even possible on the globe model? But of course it's possible on the globe model. I'm just stupid and I don't understand math. That's what's actually going on, and this video was for entertainment purposes only.
I'm not gonna lie, this one might break the internet. Have you ever seen the United Nations building in Senegal, West Africa? The one that kind of looks like a hurricane? Not only a hurricane, but a bunch of 6s, because we know how they like that number. Well, let's take a closer look at some things. Let's first look at this beautiful looking United Nations symbol that looks an awful lot like a flat Earth map. But then let's zoom out and let's see where that building has a direct path to. Oh, would you look at that? Florida, the east coast of Florida, where a lot of hurricanes just happen to hit. But Hurricane Milton is coming from the west, so what's to the west? Oh, Australia? I wonder if they have any United Nations buildings in Australia. Oh, would you imagine that? Let's take a closer look at this United Nations building in complex and see what we find. Zooming in, and that's a funny looking symbol. It looked familiar to me, but I couldn't quite place where I saw that symbol. Maybe one day I'll remember though, hopefully. But I mean, so what? They have a symbol that kind of looks like something else. It's not like this UN building has some sort of crazy technology or spires or giant space needle looking things. What in the world is that? Let's put a pyramid under a giant needle that, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just simply showing you that look at that angle. Just happens to have on something that Florida is about to experience. I'm not saying, I'm just showing. But of course, as usual, this is all for entertainment purposes. I'm sure that they just like the design of this building, and it isn't really 6s or even supposed to look like a hurricane. And that these anomalies that have been spotted by Cancun, which would be on the way from Australia, just happen to be coincidental as well. Also a coincidence. Duh. Entertainment only, people.
So first thing this morning, I pulled out my phone to look something up, and this was underneath the Google search bar. Hidden structure inside Earth's core. So I had to click on it. I'm going to walk you through the story. I'm going to attempt to do it with a straight face. I'll try, but no promises. Now, I do agree with the second paragraph that what's under our feet, science knows little about it. They think they know, but they don't know anything. I will agree with that. So they go on to say that what they do know about what's under Earth's crust is inferred from volcanoes and seismic waves. And seismic waves is going to be the remainder of this article, which is why it's going to be challenging to do this with a straight face. And then they say with the indirect observations of seismic waves and volcanoes, that the core of the Earth is 9,000 degrees. I'm sure they got that from a seismic wave. Let's go look at that. So just so we're clear, the remainder of this article is talking about this squiggly printout from a seismograph. Seismology. This is where we're going to get the information in the remainder of this article. Here we go. So here's where it starts to get amusing. We're going to use a search algorithm to go through decades of seismic waves and have a search algorithm put together this new model they're coming up with. Let's look at it. So we're going to use anisotropy to figure out the different materials and how they alter seismic wave propagation. So this is my favorite part. So their experimental evidence, when they ran this algorithm and searched the data over decades of seismic waves, they're thinking that the structural alignment of the iron crystals on the molecular level at Earth's core shows that there's another layer in the center of the Earth. Yes, you heard that right. They can detect the molecular level of iron crystals on the squiggly lines of a seismograph. This seismograph. They're using this to determine the crystalline structure of iron at the core of our beautiful Earth. So you heard it here first. The evidence shows that the squiggly lines of seismic wave propagation shows changes in the structure of iron to show two separate cooling events in Earth's history. Of course, the details of this event are just a mystery. We'll never know, but we know they're there. And this is so exciting, we might even have to rewrite our textbooks to include a second layer of the inner core of globe Earth. Thank you guys so much for sharing this with us.
It's called the Harper's Bible Dictionary. Here's what it says about the firmament. You guys can pause it and read it if you want. And it even has a little image of what the flat Earth would actually look like.
This UN House of Darkness is home court. They know that in this swamp of anti-Semitic bile, there's an automatic majority willing to demonize the Jewish state on anything. In this anti-Israel flat earth society, any false charge, any outlandish allegation can muster a majority. In this anti-Israel flat earth society, flat earth society,
we look directly through the sextant at the horizon. If you live on a globe, what horizon are you actually looking at? Is it the Earth horizon? The water horizon? The horizontal reference plane? The visible horizon? How about the sensible horizon? The geodal horizon? Or the celestial horizon? Earth curve? No, that was debunked by the Black Swan. But now, the globe-believing zealots tell us that their horizon is refracted. It's not an actual horizon. So how do we have tangent to a refracted horizon? How are we measuring an angle to the horizon? If it's refracted, you will never ever get an angle to a refracted horizon. This is a major problem if you think you live on a globe, because celestial navigation would be impossible.
Just kind of explain why we're not getting to see these images live. The Apollo 11 landing was broadcast live. Why now don't we have the technology to see all of this live?
This ain't easy. It's not easy. Space is hard, but the moon is harder.
And we're getting a picture on the TV. Got a good picture, huh?
He's on the moon.
And the second man is on the moon. Hey, you got it? That's a good step. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Isn't that something?
We've just got a report from Poland, Czechoslovakia, and Romania that the picture quality there is very good.
Nice. Getting ready to move the TV camera now out to its panorama position. Okay, as far as distance goes, Neil, and we'll line you up again when you finish the panorama. Tell me if you got a picture, Houston. Well, we got a beautiful picture, Neil.
In terms of more media release, yes, absolutely.
We're working towards improving that. Trying to get you surface photos, because I know that everyone's hungry for those surface photos. More cameras. The message is loud and clear. It would be great to get a picture. We have that in the works, so more great imagery from the moon. Video and pretty pictures. We're as eager to see those images as the public is.
Obviously, imagery, we love it. We want to share it as much as we can. We want to record it. But if we're having issues getting it off of the vehicle.
Unfortunately, we just did not have time to go fix that. It's going to take a little bit of time.
There is a capacity that we share, and we're being as transparent as we can here.
A little slower than we might have wanted.
Some hardware problems.
It's not pointing at Earth. Data flows out of mission control in a very sporadic way.
There are many other customers, science customers, that use the Deep Space Network. Actually slows the effort to share things with the team. Being a number of issues with file transfers. We did have a number of communications glitches. We had either forward or return link problems.
Also during coast in the zero gravity of environment of space.
It's very difficult to transmit on the fly, if you will, and get that all the way back to Earth.
Struggle to get communications.
Unfortunately, they're going to be in the darkness. They will not be sunlit, so we won't get very good video of them.
Tip of the iceberg in its beginning, for people to realize, wow, this was an incredible success.
People telling me how, oh, it's so funny that you keep saying that we landed on the moon, but we don't even have any pictures to prove it yet. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I don't need a picture to prove it. Right? I don't need a picture. They all were saying how we were so dumb for believing it without any pictures. You're not always going to get pictures.
Over a dozen funnies on the list. Issues,
challenges,
glitches, phenomenon, problems,
idiosyncrasies,
anomalies.
At least they're actually getting things. They're actually getting footage. Why would they go out there and fake something and then go, oh, we accidentally snapped one of the legs and it's tilted over 30 degrees?
It came in the mail and y'all are opening it with me. Ooh. Smell it. Woo! Here we go.
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Idialenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.